Hello everyone and welcome back to another custom spotlight. We're just going to jump right into this because this one is one that I wanted to do ever since the 80th anniversary started. Audrey Thomas was a really fun custom to do, but I think this character encapsulates the Railway series much better. Wilbert, the Forest Engine. I mean, those of you who are aware of the Railway series understand why he's so important, right? For those of you who don't know, and might not be aware of the fact, Wilbert is actually based on the Reverend Wilbert Awdry himself. Yep, that's right. The man who created the Railway series has an engine in the show based off of him. Basically, this is I don't remember exactly what class this is, but it's called an austerity tank. Wilbert is a real engine in the real world, preserved on a line called the Dean Forest Railway. Unfortunately, he's been under-maintained for a few years, but there is actually a campaign going by the Dean Forest that sets out to restore Wilbert for Thomas's 80th anniversary. So I would recommend going to check that out. I'll leave a link to the Wilbert video down in the description below. And you guys can potentially help save the real Wilbert. Speaking of real engines, this is going to be a very similar type of... this one was a very similar custom to make to my Flying Scotsman, where this is a real engine that exists. It was brought into the Thomas universe. Wilbert is very much the same way. Although I think a lot more people are aware of the Flying Scotsman than they are of Wilbert the Forest Engine. Interestingly enough, I don't think I have him with me on the table right now. But hold on just a sec. In a lot of ways, I would compare Wilbert to Stepney, the Bluebell engine. Again, a real engine preserved in real life that was a Thomas character at one point. I think Wilbert and Stepney have a lot in common. They're both real engines who came to Sodor for a visit. And yeah, I don't know very much about the real Wilbert's history, but I do know that the real engine worked in collieries for most of its life. And then after being preserved on the Dean Forest, it was given the name Wilbert in reference to the Reverend Wilbert Awdry. There isn't really much to say about this. This is a 3D printed shell that I bought on eBay. I don't remember the guy who sold this to me, but I will leave a link in the description if I remember to his eBay page. The face from this comes from the Wooden Railway Wilbert, which I think is around here somewhere. Hold on. Alright, got him. Here's the wooden Wilbert. I tried to base his color scheme off of the wooden model as much as I could. Down to the black wheels, nameplate colors, although I'm actually realizing I did it inversed, but whatever. And the little side rods, the little handrails. Which are these things that run across the boiler. I don't know if the real engine has backlining, but I gave it to him anyway. I opted for a wooden railway face because I thought that there aren't really any other models of Wilbert. I could have gone for an Erdl, but I thought the wooden face looked a little bit better. So, yeah, just got a wooden Wilbert. Blue tack the face on. It's very easy to take it back off again. So if I wanted to give it back to the wooden model, I could do that. Yeah, not really a bad model. I think I enjoyed working on this guy a lot. Since I don't really have too much else to say about the model specifically, aside from the fact that it once again uses the three-wheeled chassis, except now, the three-wheel Percy chassis, except now, I've given it black wheels. Because I figure I'll probably have to get another one, my Audrey Thomas model broke, like the funnel came off, so I don't need the chassis for that anymore. And I figured kits could probably looked better with black wheels anyway. So, and as for Jacob 3.0, well, that's just going to be Jacob 3.0 if I end up using that one. I still haven't yet decided which Jacob model to stick with, but either way, it could work with black wheels. And again, I plan on maybe making another one of those with blue wheels at some point, so maybe Jacob will actually have a motorized chassis by then. Anyway, though, since I don't really have too much else to say about the actual model, I thought it would be a good idea to, since he's not really a very commonly seen character, it might be a good idea for me to go into his story in the books. So Wilbert was introduced in a book called Wilbert the Forest Engine. And in that book, Donald and Douglas need help on the Little Western, and Sir Topham Hatt looks into an austerity tank engine to help. He gets Wilbert on loan from the Dean Forest, and in his first episode, Percy really wants to see him, and gets really lucky after running over a package of porridge. Yeah, I don't really know what that episode is all about, but it's called Percy's Porridge, and it's ridiculous. The second story is the one that everyone remembers from that book. It's called Cab Over Wheels. In that story, Wilbert tells Thomas and Toby, that's why they're on screen right now, he tells Thomas and Toby about an engine that he knew years ago called 16. Maybe a custom on him is coming, maybe not, I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Based on clues in an upcoming video, maybe coming out this week or next week or whatever, you'll have to tell me if I have a 16 custom planned. But anyway, Wilbert tells them a story about an engine who passed a danger sign after Thomas warned 16 to not pass the danger sign at the lead mines. Down the mine reference. So Wilbert tells Thomas and Toby a story about an engine named 16, who worked at a steel works on the mainland. He was reckless and went past a danger sign and fell cab over wheels down an embankment. He got better than he deserved, though, and ended up being preserved by a railway in the Midlands. No, I don't think it's actually 16. No, I don't think 16 is Wilbert and he fudged the details. I think it's just another engine that he knew. Because there are a crapload of austerity tank engines in the world. Anyway. So, the next few stories are kind of forgettable. There's a story where Wilbert accidentally gets his tanks filled with milk, of all things. And there's an episode, and there's a story where one of Wilbert's couplings breaks, and he has to replace it with a wire coil. That's kind of interesting, I suppose. So after that, Wilbert goes home, and that's basically it. Topham Hatt drops Easter eggs for something that never really happens in the books. It's like, he's like, by the end of his stay, Sir Topham Hatt knew that an engine like Wilbert was exactly what he needed. And then we never see that again we never see that touched on in the books. So, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. So yeah, I think that's really all I can talk about with Wilbert. At least for now, that's all I can talk about with Wilbert. I think he's an interesting character, and yes, for those of you who are curious, that means I have a plan to use Wilbert in the series, but probably not this year. I would have loved to get an episode done last season with Wilbert, but it took me longer than I thought to make this custom. I thought that maybe next year for season 2, maybe I could do something with Wilbert and Stepney, since they're such similar characters. But honestly, who knows? I'm still kind of throwing ideas around. If you guys have any ideas for a story I could do about Wilbert, let me know in the comments below. So, yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say. So, I don't know if I'll be doing any more special custom spotlights for the 80th anniversary. But if I don't, and the next one like big one doesn't come out until like I don't really know when the next like big huge custom spotlight will be. I have a couple smaller ones that I would like to do. Next week I think we're going to take a little bit of a divergence from Custom Spotlight, do a different video on Wednesday. But, week after that, I have a new Custom Spotlight on the way, and, it's going to be another Sonic character. Let me just say, it's probably going to make some fans go feral. Wonder what I could be doing. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. So assuming this is going to be the last custom spotlight for the 80th, not specifically the last video, but just the last spotlight, happy 80th anniversary to Thomas. It's going to be it's been really fun spotlighting some customs for Thomas's 80th anniversary. Audrey Thomas, Wilbert. It's been fun. It really has. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to go down in the description and watch the video that's going to tell you all you need to know about Wilbert's possible restoration and what you can do to help. We need to get this engine back in steam on the Dean Forest Railway so that this engine's legacy can carry on for as long as his wheels will carry him. So, with all that out of the way, see you all on the next one. Goodbye, Wilbert Warriors. Happy 80th anniversary, everyone! Beep, beep. Ow.